Hey guys, it's here, and today I'm going to be finally doing my review of the Naval Strike DLC. Naval Strike, as the name suggests, is the map pack where most of the maps were designed around naval gameplay, much like Parasol Storm. So chances are, if you didn't like Parasol Storm, then you most likely are not going to like this map pack. So now I've got that out of the way, and before we get into our proper in-depth review, I just want to say something about the gameplay and all of the editing I've done with this video. I played this map pack for about 10 hours in total, so I've got quite a lot of footage of it, quite a lot of awesome moments and annoying moments, you know, just stuff that I wanted to fit in. But obviously, this is only probably going to be about a maximum of a 15-minute video. I wanted to try and get everything into this one 15-minute video. So I've done a lot of fast forwarding and a lot of cutting bits out, just so I could try and get everything in. So tell me or not whether you think the gameplay is a little bit too distracting, if you know what I mean, because I know that happens sometimes in a lot of videos where the gameplay is just too ridiculous, so you kind of get completely distracted from the voice that you're meant to be listening to. And also the final thing before I get into my review is that if, for example, you don't want to watch this video all the way through, please just skip to the end. There'll be a timestamp in the description down below, because something awesome happened to me that I've got to show you. You know, I was like crazy about it, it was brilliant. But yeah, I mean, you can see that when you get to it. The map pack contains 4 maps. These are Wavebreaker, which you're watching now, Naval Strike, Operation Mortar and Lost Island. It also has 5 weapons: the AWS LMG, the AR-160 assault rifle, the SR-2 PDW, the SR-338 sniper rifle and the SW-40 revolver. All of these seem to be viable options aside from the SR-338 sniper rifle, which I haven't even bothered unlocking yet, considering the fact that if you look at any other review of this weapon on the internet, it turns out to be awful and doesn't seem to be worth completing the assignment for. The map pack also brings a new game mode into the mix. This game mode is Carrier Assault, which is a reimagining of the Battlefield 2142 game mode, Titan mode. Apparently in Battlefield 2142, Titan mode was like the most played game mode. It was the best game mode ever to exist, and apparently it was just absolutely amazing. But unfortunately I've never had the ability to play Battlefield 2142, but if I had, I probably would have enjoyed it, because I absolutely love Carrier Assault on Battlefield 4. But the best thing is that for once, DICE have actually bothered to put in a decent game mode into the map packs, rather than just putting in a rubbish one like Air Superiority, just so they can claim that they've added a new game mode into the DLC and sell a few more copies because of it. This game mode does have its flaws though, and if you've seen anyone who actually reviewed this game mode alone, then you'll see that they've always complained about the airdrop spawn, which is above your Titan once it has been breached. Now, as far as I'm aware, the whole point of Titan mode was to have a load of clutch moments where your team would be losing, you know, your carrier would have been open from the start, but because your team is so amazing at defending, you've managed to hold the enemy team off from planting the bombs for a long enough amount of time, so that way your team can open up the enemy carrier, and then all of a sudden you win the game. But unfortunately, those epic moments hardly exist in this game mode, mainly because of this parachute spawn, which means you have a constant onslaught of enemies attacking your base. The second issue with this game mode is that it seems to be very hard to tell when your carrier has been breached, and you often don't notice the single sign that pops up on your screen, because the amount of time I've been playing this game mode, and then all of a sudden this, you know, the game ends and I've realised that my team has lost because I haven't been defending. I didn't even know that our carrier had been breached. I didn't even know that I was meant to be defending. But this game mode has been a very good addition to Battlefield 4, and I do think that this game mode, unlike most of the other game modes that have been included with map packs these days, actually will be played for quite a long time to come. I think this is mainly due to the way that this game seems to mix both Conquest and Rush, which are both the Battlefield's best game modes, into one game mode. And because of this, it does actually provide such a diversity of gameplay in just a single match. Now, unfortunately, I haven't really got very much gameplay of Carrier Assault in this video, however, but that's because I did upload a full video of an entire Carrier Assault match on Wavebreaker just last week, so if you want to see some of that gameplay, then check out that video. So now let's get into the maps themselves. In my opinion, the maps in this map pack are the best designed maps available to play in Battlefield 4, and that is without a doubt. If you want to go and you want to kill some infantry, then there is a space in all of these maps for infantry. For example, in Wavebreaker, there is that huge sub-base in the middle of that mountain where you can go and you will be able to shoot some people and not have to worry about vehicles if that's what you want to do. And then in all of these maps, there is space to kill vehicles. You can run engineer and you can destroy. As you just saw there, I just managed to take out a heli. You know, you can go everywhere. You can do anything you want to in these maps. You can play in boats, which is obviously quite a huge thing. I think there are ADVs in some of the maps. I haven't really bothered using them particularly much though, because I'd rather use the boats because they seem to be a bit better. But what I'm trying to get across to you is that if you don't like naval gameplay, if you don't like playing in boats, which I don't generally enjoy particularly much, although my opinion has kind of been changed by this map pack, But if you don't want to play in boats, you don't have to. You can just play it like any other map, like you'd play Flood Zone, Conquest, or any of those other type maps, where you can ignore the vehicles and just play Assault. And then the next best thing about this map pack is that you can use pretty much any other weapon, as there is a situation for everything. Like, as you can see now, I'm using the P90, which is a PDW, which I very rarely use. I pretty much never use PDWs because I seem to think they're very underpowered. As typically speaking, there aren't really enough moments in Battlefield where there are short range gameplay, as even if there is a short range moment, next thing that will happen is that you'll see someone at long range and they'll kill you. So in my opinion, it's kind of hard to use PDWs in this game, but in this map pack, as you can see now, if you play it right, you can use any weapon. Like, you can find close quarters bits and you can stay around there and you know exactly what to do and where to go. And then also another great thing about these maps is that the conquest points are always extremely well placed. Like, you can go to certain points for certain types of gameplay. For example, as you could see earlier, there is one point that was under a waterfall, which basically meant that it was infantry only. You could get your infantry kills, and it's brilliant for using PDWs in there or otherwise assault rifles, because you are going to be getting close range, close quarters kills. And much like the point I'm attacking now, there are a few points that are very exposed to vehicles. A good attack boat pilot can pretty much take over an entire point on his own if you can do it right. Unfortunately, I'm not a good attack boat pilot, so that doesn't really apply to me. But the option is there. One thing that does seem to be lacking from this map pack though is Levolution. Not talking about his big gimmicky things like a skyscraper falling down on Siege of Shanghai, because quite frankly that gets really boring after a while. I have watched that skyscraper fall down so many times, it's not even interesting to me anymore. It doesn't add anything to the gameplay, and as far as I'm concerned, the only reason they bothered to even put it in there is so that they can sell a few more copies by making everyone think, oh my god, there's a skyscraper that can fall down. And then everyone buys the game. But even so, in only 2 of the maps I've managed to find something revolutionary, if that's even a word, and that is Lost Island and Wavebreaker. In Wavebreaker you've got that submarine thing in the submarine base in the middle of the map that can fall down and not really do anything towards the map. And in Lost Island you've got that crashed airplane which you can not really do anything to, just make it explode a little bit and make a little gap in some wings, which doesn't add anything to gameplay, and it only affects a tiny portion of the map, which is quite boring to me because I want something that's going to completely change up the map, that's going to completely redefine what the gameplay is on that map. So that means that, like, if you ever play Call of Duty, I hate that game so much, but if you ever played COD Ghosts and you played Strike Zone, when you get that Chem Strike, whatever it's called, the map is completely changed. It doesn't even look remotely similar to what it was beforehand. I'm not saying that I want something on that scale because that's stupid and it's ridiculous. You don't even get to see anything happen because you just call something in, so it's not even interesting to me. But I want something that's going to completely make the gameplay diverse and be able to change up the map entirely. Now, I know I said I don't really want big gimmicky things, but I kind of do want something big but not gimmicky. Something that's going to change up the map for a good reason rather than just so that you can knock it down and make it look ugly and horrible like they did with Siege of Shanghai. Now, what I'm missing more than that though is the mini Levolution moments where if you were to, for example, shoot a fuse box, then it would blow up and then all the power would go out, and then you would have to put on your IR and V scopes, and then you would destroy because you're prepared for that, and it's a whole tactical element where you are doing something that's going to benefit your team in a way that's not necessarily first hand. Now, I have heard that in the Nature Strike map there is dynamic weather, much like in Parasol Storm, but I haven't even noticed it. It must be a tiny little bit of dynamic weather, and the storm that comes in must be absolutely minuscule because I haven't even noticed it. The change hasn't been big enough for me to notice a real difference and think, oh my god, this is coming in, I better change up my weapon that I'm using, I better use something different, I better do something different so I can help my team out because what I'm doing now currently isn't working. And that's what I'm missing from this map pack. That has really been disappointing to me. That's what I really wanted when I bought this map pack, well, when I bought Premium. I wanted big Levolution moments and small Levolution moments that are going to have to make me change the way I'm playing so I can fit my role. Now, these maps aren't perfect, and by not perfect I don't mean in the style of the map design, I mean in the fact that they are slightly buggy, and if you're going to wait a few seconds you're going to see exactly what I mean. Yes, on Nature Strike, when you spawn in for about 20-30 seconds, the floor doesn't even exist. You just kind of run around and you just kind of fall through the map a few times, and you often die very many times in the space of 30 seconds because you can't do anything, you can't shoot anyone, and you just keep falling through and it's laggy and it's horrible. And then, luckily, this doesn't really seem to be a problem on PC, but I know that it must be a problem on PS4, because if you've ever seen some gameplay of that, the rubber banding that seems to be on these maps is absolutely ridiculous and it seems to be unplayable to me. And I really am sorry if any of you play on PS4 because I feel for you, I really do. That's because no one deserves to have to play on a map where rubber banding is on that scale, because that's just disgusting and it's completely ridiculous. And if you've paid 40 quid for premium so you can play that, you deserve to get your money back, because that is a complete waste of money. But all the PS4 players did kind of deserve it, bearing in mind the fact that when it was released on release day and everyone else's was postponed, you was all sitting there bragging, you know, oh, they love PS4 players more than anyone else because they're releasing it first for us. But really, you were getting the unfinished product that no one was happy with, and really we were just getting the one that was going to be fixed. So that is karma for you right there. And I know that you're all feeling sorry for yourselves now, but no, favouritism doesn't exist in my channel, and I love you all the same. Now, I said earlier that this map pack had completely changed my opinion on the way that boat gameplay works. Now, in Parasol Storm, I did think that the boat gameplay was very naff and two-dimensional. This is because you get in it, you'd shoot a few bullets at your enemy, you know, you'd have a few shots, you'd pop your countermeasures when someone shot at you, and then you'd be a sitting duck ready for someone to kill you. Whereas on these maps, there is so much cover for you to hide behind, it's actually a very tactical aspect of the game. If there's someone that's shooting at you in another attack boat, you can just quickly run and hide behind a little boulder, and hopefully have enough time to kill the engineer that's sitting on top of it before you get killed by that guy, and then you can sit there and regen a bit, and maybe get your repair tool out and start repairing your own vehicle, and then you can get back into action when you're ready. It's this aspect that has actually entirely completely changed my opinion on boat gameplay within Battlefield 4. And I'm hoping to actually unlock stuff for the boat now, so I can use it properly, get TV missiles, you know, so I can get some long range shots off and actually take out a lot of boats from longer ranges, and hopefully actually end up doing quite well. This allows for some huge diversity in gameplay, and it reminds me more of Battlefield 3, because if you've ever played Battlefield 3, you'll know that vehicles are much more prominent in that game than they are in Battlefield 4. In BF3, engineers were very scared of tanks and had to play very tactically in order to take them out, whereas in BF4, anyone with a rocket launcher can easily take out a tank. Then also, there are far too many ways to take out vehicles now in Battlefield 4, whereas, for example, the Assault class has its grenade launchers, the Engineer class obviously has its weapons of mass destruction like its RPG and its straw. Then both the Recon and Support class have C4, which is obviously extremely good at taking out vehicles. So generally speaking, vehicles are very underpowered in this game and they should really be buffed. But obviously in these maps, as I've been saying earlier, it is completely not the case, because the amount of cover you have, if you play tactically, you can avoid every single way of being destroyed, and everything that you do, every death that you get, is completely your fault. Like there, I was completely out in the open and I really should have stayed put beforehand. Now, one thing that I found very surprising about this map pack is what you're watching now. This is that I'm actually enjoying playing Rush. As a general rule, Rush in Battlefield 4 is absolutely disgusting. The fact there are 5-man squads just means that if someone gets into the area where the bomb is, all of a sudden there'll be 4 other players right next to it, and it's impossible to defend or attack depending on what way you're looking at it from. But some of these maps were clearly designed with Rush in mind, and I have really enjoyed playing them. Now, I wouldn't recommend anyone goes and plays them with 64 players in them, because that would just be ridiculous. But 32-man Rush on all of these maps is perfectly fine, and it's actually really enjoyable. The action is balanced, you can go anywhere, you can go to both bombs and you'll find an equal spread of people across both of them. No set of bombs seem to be particularly badly placed, and all of them seem to be quite easy to attack and equally easy to defend. This means that for once in Battlefield 4, you don't know that you're going to lose as soon as you get put on the attacker's team. And you know that if your team plays as a team, and you all do well in your individual roles, then you can possibly win if the other team isn't just equally as good. So yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with the way that all of these game modes play out within this map pack. And that's just one more thing to add onto the list of things that I absolutely love about this map pack. So now, on to the bit that I was talking about right at the start of the video. This is the bit where I was absolutely amazing myself. I was just so happy when this happened. But it's quite a long clip, so we've got to watch it all the way through. It's about sniping, and sniping on this map pack is absolutely amazing. It's kind of funny just how good it is for sniping, really. It's kind of just like as open as Parasol Storm is, but rather than having your sight all blocked by all of the rain and stuff that comes in halfway through the map, it's all clear, everything's clear, you can snipe really, really easily. It's really good for sniping. I mean, the SR R61, whatever it's called, is easily the best sniper for it. But they're all good, you know, apart from the SR338, which is the one that came with this map pack. They're all perfectly brilliant for it. So, use whatever that you can destroy when you're sniping with this map pack. But just while we get to the point, I just want to say that obviously this map pack is absolutely amazing. I love it. You know, it's easy. I would definitely recommend it to you. Now, get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Oh. Oh my god. Let's watch that again. Oh my god. Brilliant. Yeah, so I definitely recommend this map pack to you. You should easily get it. I've been TSS. Goodbye. Oh, and I really do apologise that clip wasn't actually as great as I was making it out to be, but obviously I'm absolutely awful at sniping, so to me that was just ridiculous and I was really happy with it. So yeah, don't hate me. Bye!